problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
Break down some of these games. And let's start with our first playing game. This is actually the college that I went to. Texas Southern University taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This is the first playing game that's going down at 6:40 Eastern Standard Time at the Dayton Arena. The Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders are 23-11 on the year, 20-10 against the spread, while the Texas Southern University Tigers are 18-12 on the year, 16-13-1 against the spread. Their biggest win and upset for this year for Texas Southern was the win on the road in Florida when they beat the Gators in their house. This line opened up in favor of Texas Southern minus 3.5. That line hasn't moved, and the over-under opened at 35. Right now, that line's at 136. There are some 136.5s out there as well. There are no injury reports for either squad. Last time we seen A&M Corpus Christi, they beat Southeast Louisiana 73-65 to win their conference championship, while Texas Southern beat Alcorn 87-62 to win their conference. And pretty much they revenged that game because they lost to them early, Alcorn, about less than 3 weeks before they beat them in the championship, 75-72. Let's get to these actual factors for Corpus Christi because I know nobody really much knows or followed this team. If they did, then they had to be either in that city that's not too far away from us, about 2.5-hour drive from Houston. Texas A&M, they are 7-1 against the spread in the last 8 games. The unders hit 5 out of the last 7. They are 7-1 straight up in the last 8 games, 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games this season, 10-1 straight up in the last 11 games when playing against opponent from the SWAC conference, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games in the month of March, the unders hit 7 out of the last 10 games when played on a Tuesday, and the unders hit 10 out of the last 14 games when playing as an underdog. Is it raining, bro? What's that?
Yeah, you hear that? Is it loud?
Yeah, it kind of threw me out. Let me mute real quick so I get through this. My bad. I ain't know it was raining. Crazy ass Houston weather. Anywho, Texas Southern actual factions, the total's gone over 5 out of the last 7 games. They are 7-1 straight up in the last 8 games. 13-2 straight up in the last 15 games this season, 5-2 straight up in the last 7 games against a Southland Conference opponent, 7-1-1 against spread in the last 9 games in the month of March. The under has hit 8 out of the last 8 games on a Tuesday, and the overs hit 5 out of the last 7 games when TSU is playing as a favorite. So, with that being said, Marley, our first playoff game for the madness, Texas A&M Corpus Christi is taking on my school, TSU, Texas Southern. Marley, what is your play?
Yeah, man. I just like you. I spent a little bit of time on that yard. You know.
Oh yeah, you was there. I wanted to say you was there. I just didn't want to,
Yeah. I spent a little time on that yard. I didn't spend much time in class, but spent a lot of time on the yard when I was going there. Anyway, I'm gonna ride with the home team. TSU. I'm gonna take the spread minus the 3.5. If you look at their record, a lot of their losses came early in the year when they were playing. They lost to St. Mary, they lost to Oregon, they lost to Washington. I think they only lost by like 6 or 7 to Washington. Tough loss to NC State. 1 point loss to another D1 school. But when it came to conference play, they pretty much dominated their conference. I don't want to say dominated, maybe that's a strong word, but that's where the bulk of their losses came from. I think they only lost like 3 or 4 games in conference. They only won 8 out of their last 10 games, 3-0 in neutral site games, and Walker, he's their leading scorer. He averages pretty much 10 points a game. They hang their hat on defense. Last 3 games, they held their opponents to under 65 points a game. I'm going to rock with the yard here, minus 3. I don't know a lot about Texas A&M. Most of the stuff I just heard listening to you, honestly. But the numbers to me tell me Texas Southern minus the 3.5. And that's where I'm going to go. And I honestly, even though I don't know much about Texas A&M, I do feel confident in this minus 3.5.
All right, all right. Yeah, I've actually caught. I went to the yard, so I've been following TSU for a minute. We've been playing good. We've been uptrending for the last couple of years, and and I've been telling people this team for the last 2 years they are a gritty team. They are on grind. They do play physical. They're just trying to get caught up, with everybody else as far as the recruits. But when I saw the game against Florida, when they were just dominating them on the first half and the second half, I jumped on the money line. The money line was big, and I did that when they were up like about 14 in the first half. And like I said, they are an athletic squad. Don't get me wrong. We do got talent, a lot of hidden talent here in the Houston area and in the state of Texas, that if they can't get into a major deep Division I program, then they are settling for Texas Southern, especially if they're coming out of the Houston area. We're underrated with our ballers as far as our high school ballers here in the city. But with everything that I've seen from Texas Southern University and everything that I have not seen about Texas A&M, I am a little scared about their record against SWAC opponents, but I'm going to ride with TSU because I've seen these guys play. I've seen the grit that they got, and they're trying to get into the big dance to get some of that money for the program, for the athletic department. So give me TSU on the 3.5 for the first play-in game. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. This is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets. Thank you for everybody for getting us over 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate that. Now be sure to go follow us on Twitter and on IG and on our Facebook page. That is our record. We're just 3 games away combined from the 100 marks.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.